I ended my affair, and my husband gave me a second chance. But I couldn't let go of my affair partner. I brought him into our home. Now my husband has kicked me out, invoked the prenup, and I'm about to lose almost everything. Hello, Reddit I+ here. Throwaway account because people in my real life know this story. I already know I'm going to get destroyed in the comments, but I need outside opinions because my family is split, my friends have disappeared, and I honestly don't know whether I'm completely delusional anymore. I'm a 38-year-old woman. My ex-husband is 40. We were together for almost 16 years and married for 12. If you asked anyone who knew us back then, they would have said we were the couple everyone wanted to become. We built a successful life from nothing. We bought our dream home. We traveled whenever work allowed. We laughed together. We rarely argued. He never forgot birthdays, anniversaries, or the little things that made me smile. He wasn't flashy. He wasn't dramatic. He was simply dependable, every single day. Looking back now, I realize I confused stability with boredom. That mistake destroyed my life. About 2 years ago, I attended an industry conference where I met a younger consultant. He was 27, confident, funny, adventurous, and completely different from my husband. He complimented everything from my work to my appearance. Every conversation made me feel exciting again. At first it was harmless. Coffee became lunch, lunch became secret phone calls became deleted messages. I kept telling myself nothing physical had happened, so technically I wasn't crossing the line. Eventually, I crossed every line. For almost 6 months, I lived 2 completely different lives. At home, I was the devoted wife. Outside the house, I was someone else's girlfriend. The guilt slowly ate at me, but not enough to make me stop. My husband eventually discovered messages between us. He looked completely broken. I'll never forget the expression on his face. He didn't scream. He didn't throw anything. He simply asked one question. Was our marriage ever real to you? I cried harder than I ever had in my life. I admitted to an emotional affair but hid how serious it had actually become because I was terrified he would leave immediately. Instead, he surprised me. He asked me to cut all contact, attend counseling together, and try one last time to save our marriage. He said everyone deserved one genuine chance to change. I agreed. I blocked my affair partner. We started therapy. For nearly 8 months, everything seemed better than it had been in years. We went on weekend trips. We started cooking together again. We laughed. We communicated. He trusted me again. Or at least I thought he did. Everyone around us believed we had survived something impossible. Even I believed it. But the truth was much uglier. I never completely let go. I found myself wondering how my former affair partner was doing. I'd hear a certain song and think about him, drive past a restaurant and remember one of our conversations. Instead of shutting those thoughts down, I fed them. One afternoon, curiosity won. I created a new email account and reached out. He answered within minutes. He admitted he'd been hoping I'd contact him again. That should have been my warning. Instead, I took it as fate. Within weeks, we were secretly seeing each other again. This time I became much better at hiding everything. Burner apps, cash payments, different meeting places, no messages that could easily be found. I convinced myself I had learned from my mistakes. I hadn't. I had simply become a better liar. Several months later, my husband had to travel for business. It was supposed to last 6 days. I immediately contacted my affair partner. I invited him to stay with me for the week. Looking back, I can't believe I actually thought that was a good idea. He arrived less than an hour after my husband left. We had unpacked his overnight bag and settled in when we heard the front door downstairs. I froze. My affair partner insisted I was imagining things. Seconds later, my husband walked into the bedroom. He had forgotten an important presentation folder and turned around to retrieve it. He wasn't supposed to be home. For several seconds, nobody moved. Nobody spoke. His eyes went from me to the overnight suitcase, then to the man standing beside me. Everything became painfully obvious without anyone saying a single word. His face didn't show anger. It showed disappointment, the kind that can't be repaired. He quietly said something I'll remember for the rest of my life. I forgave the affair. He paused. I can't forgive the lie that came after forgiveness. Then he walked away. I chased him outside barefoot. I begged. I cried. I apologized over and over. He drove away without looking back. An hour later, I received one text. Please collect your personal belongings and leave the house before I return. That was it. No insults, no threats, no argument, just one sentence. I moved back into my parents' house that same evening. 3 days later, his attorney contacted mine. He'd already filed for divorce. No counseling, no second chances, no discussions. I kept telling everyone he never really loved me if he could walk away that quickly. Then my lawyer reminded me of something I'd forgotten. He hadn't walked away quickly. He had stayed after the first betrayal. He had forgiven me. He had trusted me again. I was the one who destroyed the second chance. Things became even worse during the divorce. Years before our wedding, both our families insisted we sign a strict prenuptial agreement because he already owned several investments. I signed without thinking much about it. According to the agreement, most appreciation in shared assets and several business holdings remained tied to the higher contributing spouse. That spouse was him. When everything was finalized, he walked away with roughly 80% of the marital estate. I received a settlement, but it was nowhere close to what I'd imagined after spending over a decade together. The judge upheld the agreement because it had been properly drafted, voluntarily signed, and legally valid. There was nothing I could do. My former affair partner? He disappeared almost immediately after the divorce proceedings started. Apparently being someone's exciting secret was far more appealing than building a real life together. He stopped answering my calls, blocked me everywhere. I haven't spoken to him since. Meanwhile, my ex-husband has rebuilt his life. From what mutual friends tell me, he's engaged to someone who adores him. They say he smiles again. I wish I could say I'm happy for him. Mostly I feel ashamed. For months I blamed him. I said he gave up too easily. I complained that forgiveness should have meant endless chances. Therapy forced me to confront something painful. Forgiveness is a gift. It isn't a lifetime subscription. When someone trusts you again after you've broken them, they're handing you something incredibly fragile. I didn't protect it. I shattered it myself. So now I'm sitting in a small apartment I can barely afford, wondering how I threw away a man who loved me for someone who wouldn't even answer my phone calls once things became inconvenient. Maybe this is exactly the life I earned. I don't know. That's why I'm here. Was my ex-husband too harsh for refusing to try counseling again, or did I lose any right to expect another chance the moment I betrayed his forgiveness?